I've been streaming for quite a while now, and I'm always testing out new microphones, like just to see how viable they are for both content creation and streaming alike. Elgato recently actually jumped onto the audio game and introduced their latest Wave series of microphones, the Wave 1 and the Wave 3. And now, I just so happen to have them both here, and I'm ready to finally talk about them. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Are they worth it? Should you get one or the other? Which one's better than the other? The answer might be a lot more surprising than you might think, but we'll get into that. For more great content just like this, and just make sure to subscribe and then turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss any uploads. Also leave a like and a comment down below with all of your thoughts on this video. And while you're at it, I always leave affiliate links down below in the description as well. But make sure that you check out Lukrembo so you can find the best deals on all of that tech that you're shopping for. It's a simple browser extension that helps you make the best purchasing decision. And lastly, don't forget to check out my merch store if you're into some monochrome clothing like everything I'm wearing right here. So with that said, links to everything down below. And remember that every time I do a microphone review, I always stream with it on the same night, so you can get a pretty good idea if I would sound like if I were to stream with this microphone. And that is something that interests you, then do make sure to follow me on Twitch if you would like to see my live stream tonight using the Elgato Wave 3 in particular. And you will see why I'm going to be sticking to just one microphone as we move forward with this review. So with that said, let's go ahead and begin with an unboxing. And it's going to be pretty much identical with both microphones, to be frank. So both boxes are the same size and include the same accessories on top, like for example, the USB-C cable, and the threaded adapter, and instructions, and things of the like. And then underneath this layer, you're going to find the microphones themselves wrapped quite neatly in their packaging, so go ahead and unwrap them, and then you're going to be revealing both microphones. And yeah, essentially the unboxing is pretty much identical for both of them, even though it is still a pretty nice unboxing. Right now I'm actually recording on the Wave 3 as we move forward with this review. The exterior design is going to consist of pretty much the exact same materials. Both of them are going to be essentially identical, primarily comprising of plastic, though they do have a pretty hefty stand that is actually made of metal. And the Wave 3 is going to be a little bit taller than the Wave 1 because it has extra hardware controls versus the software only controls of the Wave 1. And they aren't built that well, in my opinion, and they do feel a little bit cheap for the price. And I mean both of them, even for the Wave 1. But they do look pretty stylish, if I do say so myself. They do look very distinctly Elgato. The Wave 1 has a single volume knob for controlling the microphone gain only, and if you press it, it mutes the microphone itself. And the Wave 3 has a similar volume knob, I would say, but it does a variety of things. It can control the mic gain, but if you click it once, it can control the headphone gain for monitoring, and if you press it just one more time, it can actually adjust the mixing between your desktop audio and your microphone audio, and that sorts of stuff, between 7 different presets, which is actually pretty nifty to have. And the Wave 3 has a touch-sensitive button on the top for muting your microphone as well. On the back, they're both going to have the same USB-C port and a 3.5mm headphone jack as well. So in terms of I/O, they're going to be pretty identical. It's just in terms of the hardware buttons where things are going to change quite a bit. So it is worth saying that both microphones are going to sound identical here too. There is, from my estimations, no auditory advantages to getting the Wave 3 versus the Wave 1. However, what you've been hearing so far has been coming through the Wave 3 in particular. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to go ahead and play you a sample from the Wave 1 as well, in case you wanted to hear what the Wave 1 sounded like as well, even though again, they're both going to be pretty much identical in terms of sound quality. Okay then, so then this microphone test in particular is going to be based on the performance coming from the Wave 1. So obviously, we're going to be doing a comparison between the Wave 1 and the Wave 3 microphones, even though they should both sound about the same. And what separates them should just be that the Wave 3 actually has a couple of mixing options, and it should be able to help it quite a bit, and it should be able to give you some customization over the audio versus the Wave 1. So essentially, what you're hearing from the Wave 1 is exactly what you get. You might be hearing just a little bit of white noise, and that is going to be coming actually from the PC that is right underneath my desk. This being a USB condenser microphone that is still going to pick that up even just a little bit. I don't have the gain set all that high, of course, and there are a couple of filters to play around with. I personally don't like them because they distort the way that my voice sounds. It just makes it sound more compressed, and I don't love that sound at all whatsoever. Now we're going to do a test of how this is going to pick up an incredibly loud AC, so do prepare for that, because this is a very loud air conditioner, even though it is pretty far from the microphone itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and link that up. And exactly what you're hearing, this is what an air conditioner would sound like on this microphone, especially if you're trying to talk direct into this. So these are the results that you should be expecting from the Wave 1. However, there are more things to customize with the Wave 3, and we are going to get that right now. The best part here is going to come when it comes to its customizations, as you can customize a few things on these microphones, make a difference if anything. It just so happens that one of them is only software based and the other one has both software and hardware, which is something I really appreciate. You can actually go ahead and adjust the different channels and their volumes respective to your microphone, and you can also adjust the gain of the mic, gain of the headphones, and mixing in the mixing setting. It's pretty similar to using an audio interface, but without the audio quality control beyond just the gain, where you do get things like a clip guard, which will be incredibly helpful if you need to yell at your microphone. So for instance, I can be as loud as I want on this microphone and it is not going to clip because of the clip guard, and that is what it's going to sound like essentially. And now the low pass filter doesn't come in handy for me all that much, and that is going to be because I'm going to be speaking directly into the microphone, and it really just makes sense if you're going to be speaking from a little bit of a distance from it. However, since I'm pretty much always going to keep the microphone this close to me, it doesn't make any sense for me to turn it on, because it doesn't really difference. If anything, it might make me sound just slightly more robotic, because it tries to do a little bit of processing on that end. However, in my opinion, I don't think it's all that worth it for my usage at least. However, what's even cooler is that you can actually add a bunch of controls of your mixes onto your Stream Deck if you already own one. And they're going to be direct controls, and you're just going to see them on the line, and it's actually going to automatically organize everything for you as you have it set once you get everything onto your Stream Deck. So I think that it's really awesome that you do actually have Stream Deck controls. You do have to download that plugin additionally though, so do keep that in mind. However, since you are already going to have those hardware buttons, if you already have a Stream Deck, then maybe you don't necessarily want to go for the Wave 3, as the Wave 1 can still be controlled over hardware if you're using a Stream Deck. However, if you don't have a Stream Deck, that's when I would especially recommend the Wave 3 instead. And while I have to say that I am pretty happy with the sound quality, I would like to make a few requests for any upgrades in the future. Though a lot of these fixes could be software based, some are hardware based. Like for one, I don't think we need a Wave 1 microphone at all, as I think that the Wave 3 actually suffices and it does a much better job. I don't think that $30 difference is really going to be that big of a deal for most people, as you do get those hardware controls with the Wave 3, and it is a little bit bigger, so I suppose that it makes it just a little bit more usable if that is something that you were looking at. But essentially, they're both built exactly the same. Also, some EQ options would have actually been really nice here, considering that we do already have software, which is indeed a very great step. However, an EQ would have actually helped a lot, though I do understand that due to the inherent nature of this being a condenser microphone, like there are just some things that can't necessarily be controlled, and software controls may not necessarily do everything that you might want it to do, but it could help quite a bit. And because this is a condenser microphone as well, you are going to hear a bunch of outside noise, like someone knocking on my door, my AC, and that kind of thing. So it is worth keeping that into consideration. And the last thing I would ask for is essentially just a better build for both microphones moving forward, as I do think that they do feel pretty cheap. I think that both stands are fine. However, when it comes to the build quality of both of these, I think that they're lacking in terms of that. So I would like to ask for a nicer build for both microphones moving forward. And so there you have it. This is a really good microphone, but when the Wave 3 exists, I don't see a reason for getting the Wave 1 unless those $30 are really a deal breaker for you, or you already have a Stream Deck that you can use for using hardware controls and that kind of thing. You actually get more onboard controls with the Wave 3 that, in my opinion, is actually worth saving up for even just a little bit more. However, these both sound quite nice and offer a good amount of detail in my voice for speaking, and I especially love that clip guard built in, because sometimes I do need to yell. It is pretty awesome. Not sure if you noticed too, but both mics with just a pretty basic pop filter do a pretty great job at avoiding plosives, which is also pretty great. And with that said, if this is your budget, and if you want a simple solution for streaming and don't think that other noises will be a problem for you necessarily, then the Wave series are a great option for streamers and content creators alike. However, these do pick up quite a bit of noise, so it is good to sound treat your bass as much as possible with this one. Either way, you got a pretty solid recommendation from me. I do apologize if you ended up hearing a lot of knocking and stomping and stuff. My nephew was trying to get my attention, so I do apologize for that. However, I did promise him that we were going to play some Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, so he is expecting that in a little bit. So I kind of just wanted to end the video off on this. Later tonight, I'm going to be streaming using the Elgato Wave 3. If you would like to see how this microphone performs in an actual live stream, then do make sure to stop by my Twitch stream, as I will be streaming tonight from 10 PM to 12 AM Eastern Time. And yes, I do realize that it is pretty late. However, it is when we tend to have the most fun. So if you can, do make sure to stop by, as I think that getting to hear what this microphone sounds like in actual practice could be very beneficial to you. And I'm going to be leaving affiliate links to both the Wave 3 and the Wave 1 if I can find both of these to Amazon, so that you can go ahead and check those out if you're interested as well. And if you end up using any of my links, I get a small commission, which helps me run things just a little bit more smoothly around here. And if you use Luster in particular, it can actually help you find some sales. So if you end up using that browser extension, it would end up helping me quite a bit as well. So links to everything down in the description, including to my Twitch, my Instagram, and my Twitter if you're interested in following me on other forms of social media. So with that said, I would love to hear your thoughts on the Elgato Wave 3 and the Elgato Wave 1 as well. And with that said, this has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be seeing you on tonight's live stream. Have a good one and enjoy.